The Great Post-Christmas Mystery. It was the day after Christmas, and the little town of Jingleberry was wrapped in an unusual calm, the kind of calm that felt both cozy and mysterious. The streets were empty save for the occasional flurry of snow drifting from the rooftops. Twinkling lights still adorned every house, casting a faint, colorful glow on the freshly fallen snow. A few leftover Christmas carols echoed faintly from radios inside homes, and the scent of cinnamon and ginger lingered in the air. 8-year-old Oliver was sitting cross-legged in his living room, staring at the empty space on the floor where his favorite new toy, a shiny red toy train, had been the night before. His face scrunched up in confusion. He had parked it neatly there after playing with it for hours on Christmas Day, but now it was gone. "Mom!" Oliver called out, running into the kitchen, where his mother was sipping her morning tea. "Did you move my train?" "No, sweetheart," his mom said, raising an eyebrow. "Maybe your dad did." Oliver raced upstairs to his dad, who was reading a book in his recliner. "Dad, did you take my train?" His dad looked up from his book and frowned. "Your train? Nope, I haven't touched it. Are you sure you didn't leave it somewhere else?" "I'm sure," Oliver insisted, feeling a knot form in his stomach. Something was definitely wrong. Determined to find the missing train, Oliver grabbed the magnifying glass he'd gotten from Grandma as another Christmas gift. "If I were a detective," he muttered to himself, "where would I start?" He began his search in the living room, crouching low and peering under the couch. All he found was a stray ornament that had rolled under there. He checked behind the Christmas tree, thinking maybe it had somehow gotten tangled in the lights. Nothing. Next, he searched the dog's bed. His golden retriever, Max, wagged his tail and gave Oliver a guilty look, but there was no train to be found, just an old tennis ball and a half-chewed candy cane. "Max, did you see anything last night?" Oliver asked. Max responded with a bark, which wasn't very helpful. Just as Oliver was about to give up, he spotted something curious near the fireplace. A trail of cookie crumbs led from the empty plate where Santa's cookies had been the night before, down to the rug. Oliver said, narrowing his eyes. "Santa's gone, so who could have left these?" He grabbed his magnifying glass and followed the trail of crumbs. It led straight to the front door. When he opened it, he was greeted by the chill of the morning air and tiny footprints in the fresh snow. "These aren't human footprints," Oliver said to himself. "They're too small." His heart raced with excitement. Could it be elves? The footprints wound their way around the house and into the backyard. Oliver bundled up in his coat and boots and followed them, his breath fogging up in the frosty air. The trail led him to the garden shed, a place he rarely went during the winter. With his heart pounding, Oliver slowly pushed the shed door open. What he saw inside made his jaw drop. There, in the middle of the shed, was his toy train. But it wasn't alone. Surrounding it was a group of squirrels, chattering excitedly, as if they were trying to figure out how the train worked. One squirrel was perched on the engine, while another was holding a piece of track in its tiny paws. "You guys took my train?" Oliver said, his voice a mix of shock and amusement. The squirrels froze, their tiny black eyes staring at him. For a moment, the shed was completely silent. Then the boldest squirrel stepped forward, chattering as if to explain. Oliver wasn't fluent in squirrel, but he got the sense they weren't trying to steal his train. They were just fascinated by it. Oliver couldn't stay mad. It was Christmas after all. "All right," he said with a grin. "You can play with it for a little while longer, but I want it back by tonight." The squirrels seemed to understand. One of them even gave an enthusiastic squeak, which Oliver took as a thank you. That evening, Oliver returned to the shed to check on his train. To his surprise, it was back in perfect condition, parked neatly where it had been the day before. Beside it was a small pile of acorns, as if the squirrels had left a gift in return. From that day on, Oliver made it a habit to leave a few peanuts and sunflower seeds in the garden for his new squirrel friends, and every so often he'd catch them peeking through the window, as if to say hello. As for the train, Oliver loved it even more now. It wasn't just a toy. It was the start of a friendship he would never forget.